All right. So first level here is going to be PlayStation. PlayStation itself, the main objective that we're going to be doing here is pushing a snitch. Throughout the level, we're going to be encountering different encounters that we'll have to go through, or different objectives, I should say. The first one is just getting into the first office here. From there, we'll see our first skip, which will be a thing called Lost Skip, which Shark will be doing here shortly.
Try to step out of this room as we activate the cutscene, which you're not going to be able to do. It's a pretty tight timing. We'll see if we get it. It's not a huge deal if we don't. It's a little bit of timing.
I'm ready for it.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Perfect, and we got it there. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay,
with him getting through there, he's going to run all the way around to this gate that we can see through here. Through doing that, the snitch will be coming from that room that's right to the left of Coil, the cop here, which will save about 5 seconds in total. Just allows us to kind of get a little bit ahead so that we can just run right through from there. From there, exactly. From there, we're going to be going down into the basement where we'll have to collect fuel for generators to start basically getting the energy back out, since it will go shortly once we start pushing the snitch. Watch out for machete here. Yeah. No adrenaline. Alright.
So when it comes to each map, they all have a couple of killers that are somewhat the same. Like there's usually a machete guy archetype, and then every map also has a unique killer. So this one is Coil, who's the police officer that we saw.
There's one just on the other side, on the back left there.
I got gas for the first generator.
I'll bring gas to the second generator that Shark's on.
Okay, I got back right.
Oh wait, there's two in this room. Wow, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
That is really good RNG.
Yeah. So all the objectives are slightly randomized. A lot of the run is trying to react and figure out where they are. Sort of route on the fly.
Okay.
So I don't know if we mentioned it yet, but we have to fill up each generator with gas, do a little circuit puzzle, and then crank it to start the power. And the number of objectives also changes depending on how many players. So in 4-player, we got more generator opposed to single player.
The speedrun for this game in general is pretty RNG heavy, but I would say above that, there's an even larger skill gap in like adapting to the RNG. For instance, when myself and Shark started running this game, we were looking at around like 1 hour times in-game time, and now it's more like 40 minutes on average. Like 40 minutes would be kind of a slow run. So
Okay, I'm holding here.
definitely adapt.
I'm going for key.
Yeah, so for example, this next section, we're going to be looking for 3 different keys. There's a random key that spawns in each area, and it'll give us a clue. There are a lot of possible
I'm pushing.
locations for these keys. So like Meadow was saying, there's just a lot to learn, learning where all the possible locations are, trying to guess, determine where, make your best educated guess what would be the best place to check first. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm going to be going straight to the 3rd area here, taking a little shortcut while everybody else goes to the beginning, and then we'll be making our way through.
Okay,
I'll keep pushing.
I'm gonna go for key 2.
Alright. You'll see me crouching a lot. I know a lot of us will be doing that when we open doors. That's because sometimes we'll have traps that will hit you, and as long as you're crouching, you won't get hit by them.
Oh, I got crown, got 2.
Oh, I got spade. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, this is a really good key so far.
Club in area 1 now. Actually, I haven't found a body yet.
So yeah, you can lose a lot of time in these levels from RNG, but if you know what you're doing, you can mitigate that quite a bit.
This level's RNG has been so good so far.
Yeah.
It's been not bad at all.
We just need to open gate 1.
Here, I'll push off the start here. If you want to push afterwards, we'll switch off.
I have
Yeah.
stun. Just yell now. Yell now. When you
Okay.
Oh, I got
Now. Okay. If one of you want to switch off, I have my stun that should come up.
Yep.
Okay, and now.
Psycho's chasing you. Trying to lead him away.
That's it.
When we get in here, come on me. I can drop my healing for the psychosis if you need it.
Alright, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I got far right now for you.
So for this
Cheers.
part, we need to get it up to 100%. It goes up faster the more of us that are holding
Yeah.
the thing. I put the mine down so we don't get stuck behind us. Let's see what he does though.
Okay, I'm gonna take the hit. Okay, I'm running back now.
So we complete each level, the button at the end
I
will
stun for you.
activate, and once we hit it, we have to wait a little bit of time and be able to get into the shuttle to leave. That's how we beat every single level. So we just have to complete a certain amount of objectives before that will activate. And ideally, if it's possible, we'll have somebody get back to the beginning right when the button is available.
Yeah. And sometimes you run into unfortunate situations, like the Giants here came into the room, which usually doesn't happen, which can delay us. But it's all part of the adaptation.
What's our real time at, by the way? I started playing.
612.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Yeah, that's really good.
That's like, we should submit that good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a run on the board, so I'm submitting this.
Sweet.
Yeah, so we do have to wait here a little bit. Between each level, we have to return to sort of this hub area where some other players will be as well.
Yeah, the game is
Whoever the
designed to
host
be
is.
like a mission based, and you're coming back every single time.
Yeah, then whoever the host is will set up the next trial. I'm going to switch, so we didn't really talk too much about it, but everyone has a rig or like a special ability. So most of us are going to be going stun for most of these levels. On some of the longer levels, like that one, we'll have at least one person go blind, which is you can place the blind down, and some smoke comes out, stuns enemies for a bit if they touch it. Stun is something you can just throw on the ground to stun enemies for a little bit shorter time. But it also has some other perks, like it can refill your stamina, disable traps, things like that. So in general, for runs, it's one of the best.
Yeah, and then I'm running heal just for a safety strat because it will not only heal us for our health, it also heals psychosis, which is where it's like kind of a sanity meter, so it'll refill that, and it also can stun enemies too if they're nearby. Not as long as like stun or blind, but like long enough that you can use it to escape if needed.
Yeah, all three of those are really good. There's a fourth one called X-Ray, which is fine for casual play. It just reveals enemies and pickups through walls. But as far as runs go, it's usually not very good. There's maybe one level where it could be okay, but for the most part, you're not really going to see anybody using X-Ray.
Yeah. Now for this next level, what we're going to see is kind of a similar situation to how the ending of Kill the Snitch is, where we're going to be looking for keys. There's 3 different keys. We need to split up into different areas to be able to find them. It's just a mini version of the mission, though, so in comparison to where Kill the Snitch is going to be a little bit longer at 6.5 minutes. We're going to see this one usually only be in the 2 to 3 minute range. Just as the levels themselves are a lot smaller, but the objective's a little bit easier overall, too. So we'll be splitting up 2 people going to the right, 1 down the middle, 1 to the left, just to maximize our total space used.
Yeah.
And if you're also wondering about the name of the category, all unique trials means we are doing every single unique variation of a trial. So a lot of these have multiple copies of levels where it's the same layout and the same objective. The difference is the difficulty of it. So there are some that are a lot harder, but they are still repeating the same ones. So this allows us to do every single unique trial without any repeats.
Yeah, and there's not really an any percent sort of category. We sort of have it, but it's basically playing every single level in the game, because you can get 2 credits at the end of the game, but it requires playing every single variation, every combination of levels. So this is a pretty popular run to do, because you get to play every level without, sort of repeating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's basically what you would classically consider 80%.
Alright.
I don't know if we mentioned it yet, but doors have different traps, and they can be completely locked, and those are all completely randomized. So a lot of these doors will just be locked, where sometimes they wouldn't be otherwise. And you have to... it adds another layer of having to react to the RNG
I got diamond.
I got club.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we're-
guess spade here, spade here. You found spade?
Okay,
nice.
perfect.
Nice.
So that's why both Meta and I went to this area because it's the largest. So it's split it up. So I did go blind last level. I'm switching to stun here for most of the shoulder levels. Stun comes out way quicker. Usually you only want blind if you have to wait around doing a certain objective.
Oh, that missed. Awesome.
Like one of the generators or something like that. And we have stun. You'll see some of us jump past enemies sometimes. That's because if you get hit while you're standing on the ground, you get stunned for a few seconds and you can't move. But if you get hit while airborne, you don't get that slow effect. So sometimes we'll just jump if we think we're going to get hit. I don't know if we mentioned how we normally time this run for leaderboards at least. We usually just add up all the individual level times using manual game time and live split. On my splits, for example, I have the real time running as well, so obviously that's what we would be using for the marathon because we have to actually wait in between each level. That's why you see that there.
Perfect. And then one other.
My timer a little late, so my RTA is not completely accurate, but we got.
Mine should be at least on my end.
Yeah, mine within a couple seconds at least.
Okay, and then for this next level, the one thing to know is with the rigs that we've been using for stun, as you level it up, it does come with other effects. So one of those effects is when you stun your teammates or yourself, it replenishes all of the stamina. So this next level is going to be basically a carrying task. So we're going to carry a canister of fuel all the way through a level to one generator at the end. Now through doing this, we are going to utilize our stun to be able to get there a lot quicker since we don't have to switch off all the time. But then from there, we'll be switching off to also be able to maximize our total time use. And with this stun as well, there is other uses, which we'll see more in a later trial, and we'll talk a little bit more once we get to the fun park.
Yeah. Also, you'll see us looking up a lot and sometimes pausing during cutscenes here. Not all of them, but some of them have a little bit of more graphic content.
Not safe for work.
But yeah, but we can avoid that completely by just looking up. And pausing also makes the sound a little quieter, obscures the your vision
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It mutes the audio because you have to go through this cutscene every single time where they basically explain the objective of the level, and hearing that for the 90th time in a row can get a little bit grating after a while. But basically, like, the lore of this game is essentially we are quote-unquote volunteers for Murkoff, which is a corporation that's kind of doing like MK Ultra inspired experiments, and they're sending us in here to do objectives to see how like psychologically we're handling these situations. So that's why we're always like coming back and forth between that, like the sleep room is what it's called, and the actual trials themselves. It's where like we're doing experiments and tests to earn our freedom.
Also, with this game itself, this is also kind of a prequel to the initial Outlast. So just these trials is kind of what led eventually to the story you see in the regular original Outlast one.
Yeah, so those ones took place during the modern day, whereas Alice Trials takes place like during like the 1950s, 1960s era.
Oh,
So
my
I'm
bad.
going to be grabbing the canister here, and basically what's going to happen is Moxide and Meta are going to stun me once I run out of stamina, and we'll switch off as we go.
Open.
Pretty good doors so far. This level really comes down to...
Oh.
Where are you? So, yeah, the door lock really determines what kind of time you're going to get. I'll need stun in just a second.
Okay.
Say now. Someone stun me. Thanks.
Okay, I have mine whenever you're ready.
Alright, I'll let you know in a second here. I'll walk for a second since you guys are about to open that.
Oh.
Or here, actually, Meta, if you want to grab it, I'll open this.
Okay.
Someone stun me. Alright, I'll switch with someone.
'Kay.
Someone to grab it.
Yeah, just drop it.
Actually, I think
We might be fine. Yeah, just take it.
we made it. Okay, nice. Yeah, so this level we just have to do this generator. It's always in the same spot. It's just a matter of figuring out what path we need to take to get to it.
Oh, can someone take that?
I'm trying to get him.
I got it. Oh my god. He doesn't want to.
Yeah. Does anyone have a stun?
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Sometimes he'll hit you with the animation there. That guy gives you.
Yeah. I have to run just so I don't die here.
Alright. We got a little unlucky with some of the enemies there, but that can happen.
Yeah. They're seeing we are in psychosis at the moment. That's why when our sanity runs out and it spawns like a special enemy that essentially only we can see.
Yeah. It's the Skinner man that is behind me right now.
Yeah. The one actual nice thing about that is the other enemies will completely ignore you when you have those like. So at least you don't have to worry about getting hit by this special enemy. Everything else.
Nice. 211.
Yeah, our door luck was fortunately not too bad that time. You can get some really annoying.
Yeah, where you're like
spawns.
having to just go take the like entire opposite way around.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's not a huge deal, but you know, in a lot of these short levels, that extra 20 seconds or so makes a big difference if you're going for a PB. All right, grind the bad apples is next. You guys want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah. So
we are now leaving the police station and heading on over to program 2, which is the carnival. We're gonna have a new killer going after us with Dr. Futterman.
yeah, and basically this one itself, this first level, anyways, we're gonna be kind of implementing a unique strategy, in comparison to where we've been going through and trying to avoid taking too much damage or using our heal. This one we're going to actually do the opposite. At the end, we are going to employ a strat, which is referred to as the death strat, where only one person's actually going to survive this trial. And the reason being is there's a lot of verticality to this level, as well as it is quite a long level. So through doing this, we're going to have, at different points, different people go down and their characters die. As it will basically be quicker than everybody running to the end, whereas one person will go to the up ahead to the end early, just to be able to get through without running into any enemies or any other issues. But this one itself is going to be more in the theme of a fun park, so kind of like a carnival setting. We are going to start off with doing some fun little carnival games. They can be a little bit of randomness as the spawns themselves. Only one is a guaranteed and the rest kind of change from there. And then we're going to be pushing a cart through the rest of the entire thing before a fun pipe sequence where it's basically just following the pipes to the right valve which you have to turn, and it can be a little bit winding sometimes. Gets a little bit confusing at points, but there are ways to kind of minimize and just make sure that one person can follow each pipe, just so that we don't have to all kind of try communicate where everything's going. This one itself is usually considered to be a little bit harder, so you don't see as quick of times in comparison to the police station or even the orphanage, which will be after this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
much
the
longer,
orphanage
has
is
a lot of RNG, and has a lot of objectives.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest level in the entire game.
Alright.
We haven't seen too many of the some of the more annoying
Look at that
enemies.
smile.
There's
We're
two in
so
particular, bouncers,
happy.
which jump out at you, force you to long animation.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go left.
Screamers. If you make noise, they'll scream and slow you down for a few seconds. They have nerfed both of them a
I got stun.
We go here to activate this objective right away, and now we're going to be looking at this board to see where the couple games are going to be.
Okay, I got.
I'll go left.
Furthest
All
right.
the right.
I got the furthest right one. Sure.
And then after completing this initial game here, this is the one that is always going to be in the exact same spot. We'll get it each time. Since it's going to be first off the closest, but also consistent, we'll employ a strat from here where I'm then going to go open up these locked doors so that when we're running to the end later on, it's a very quick way through and you're not getting as delayed.
I got full psychosis for a second there, so I'm a
Oh,
little delayed, but I got my game.
Need me healing.
No, I'm good. I didn't take too much damage.
Alright.
That's 3.
Yeah, I got the
One more ticket.
not bad.
Time to grind out the run.
Perfect. And then this part itself is a little bit of a cutscene here. Mother Gooseberry is going to talk up there, so it's just kind of a good time to look around, collect some items, as well as just kind of take a little bit of a breather here before we'll start our pushing sequence of a boat that will spawn right from here.
So now would be a good time for donations.
Look at that pretty face.
Meta, you're pushing the cart
Oh,
first, right?
everybody's invited in, Dr. Daddy. It's a place so wonderful. Nobody ever
Yeah,
thought
we get to see a
leave.
lot of the individual objectives you see throughout the entire game. One of which we'll see later is following these wires and deactivating them. So we'll need to do that to open up some gates to push this cart along.
There you go. Okay, I'll check left side. I'm gonna
I can maybe use a stun, sir.
I got you.
there you go.
Switch.
Take over, yep.
Okay. Am I good to head upstairs?
Yep, yeah, I'm pushing.
'Kay.
The cart's going upstairs right now.
Perfect. Okay, I'll take B.
I'll do D again.
We still gotta do wires one more time here.
Oh, right. This guy's chasing me upstairs. Should be one
I got
right
it,
here.
Brandon.
Okay,
that one.
got this one. Someone wants to grab that
Got
one
it.
there. Okay.
I'll grab the cart. Oh, this guy's still here. Let's go. Okay, that can still happen. We do actually, I do have an amp on. If we didn't mention, there are these power-ups called amps you can equip. One of the ones we use is Quick Escape, which gives you a speed light.
Yeah, I'm body blocking for you now.
There, I got it.
Oh. There.
Alright, so I'll go A. So we gotta get all 4 of these pipes, follow them, they're all randomized.
Oh, my bad. You're doing A, right? Not B?
I
I'm
got
doing
C.
D.
Yeah, I'm doing A.
Alright. I got a long one here.
Oh, I got really long as well. Unless it's this one? Oh, weird. Oh, it actually looped all the way back around to the start. Interesting. Alright, I'm doing A right now.
This one is
You need
so
bad luck with D
long.
right here.
Holy, yeah. One other thing you'll see us do is you'll see us go to open some doors while we're crouched. On some doors, you'll notice that there's going to be a light at the top, and that door itself, it just will cause for a trap to shoot out. So, it can be a very big time loss if you do hit those. So,
I got very
Yeah.
These pipes are probably the worst part of this level in terms of.
You said it's always a yellow wheel, right?
What? Well, A is yellow, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my, this is the worst I have ever seen.
Anybody need help?
Okay.
I mean, I just gotta keep following it. Really? Okay, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, I'm having super bad luck with D.
This was the longest route I have ever seen.
Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to head back to the beginning here.
Yeah, I had a pretty long A as well. If you're gonna see really bad luck, this is one of the levels it's gonna be.
Yeah, and the pipes is always when it's gonna be. You don't really see it for the switches or yeah.
You should take my adrenaline.
Oh, it's all good. I won't need it. I'm already mostly back at the beginning, so
Car push then.
yeah.
Ugh, I got worst possible luck on like D. Yeah, I'm gonna need some help.
Gotcha.
Thanks.
Yeah, this level gets very confusing. You can see up there that leads up to the top level. Where some of the D pipes are. Oh, she's chasing me now. Okay. Well, I guess that's better than her being up there. Maybe I can lose her.
Yeah, I'm just sticking around here right now. Just because the cart is going to come down here eventually. And then
Got it.
the killer's going to spawn. And I'm going to push the cart in as best as I can. I will need someone else here as well. But then we'll push it in and then we'll just let the killer basically get us.
Yeah, just go
Demonic
upstairs.
will be back at the end.
Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna push this downstairs and then die.
Is there anyone else coming down to help me? Is it
Yeah, I'm
Shark?
coming down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then Shark, yeah.
Yeah, fortunately this fire does a lot of damage. So yeah, now I'm gonna bleed out, and then the idea is that Demonic and Meta will both get executed by the killer.
And then me all the way back at the beginning. The killer that will spawn with Demonic and Meta will be the same killer that would usually spawn basically like right here for me. And wait for me to be at the end. So
Okay.
since I'm here,
She just like face tanked it.
This might be bad.
Maybe I can distract her as well.
Did it not get you up?
No.
This might be a problem.
I'm gonna see if I can distract her as well, possibly.
Yep. I'm being executed.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so Moxide, you're the only one left.
Dying! You've always been dying!
Yeah, that sometimes happens. We just got bad luck with the killers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a huge time save either. Doing it the death warp, but if it works out, it can be real fast. So yeah, like you can see here, yeah, the Moxide's already back. Oh no,
My screen faded out.
Give him the ghost grease, Daddy!
It's best to just let him finish.
time we have time for donations.
Exactly. Yeah, we should mention this game is in early access still. They're still doing updates for it as well. There's a chance that a fourth program with some more levels will be out by the time next year comes around. So we might possibly be submitting the fourth program. They might buff or nerf certain things as well. I really hope they add an option to skip all the cutscenes. I don't know if they're gonna do that. But
Yeah.
it's pretty nice. So yeah, like we said, that is the hardest level, probably the biggest difference in time you're gonna see from the RNG as well.
Yeah, that went pretty much as poorly as it could have gone. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so as far as marathon safety and everything goes, that is about as with some of some of the bad luck and things. That's about as like the worst they can get. So definitely not too bad.
Thankfully, though, that is probably the worst map, but the rest of the carnival ones are actually pretty quick and pretty
Yeah.
good, as long as you have good RNG. So
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned the distinction between some of the levels, but like that one and the first one we did are the trials, and the others are the MK challenges. The MK challenges are always a much more condensed, shorter version of the trials, where it's usually focused on one specific objective rather than completing 3 or 4 different things. So this next one, well, actually, the fun part is weird. It doesn't really have much to do with the root canal area we were just in. It's all just going to be in the carnival area. So, you guys want to talk about miscreants next?
Yeah, so for this next area, it's still going to be kind of in that open carnival area, but it's a little bit different in its setup. There's more doors, different pathways, and it is all based upon RNG, so we do have to route on the fly. But this next one, we will have those dolls that were in the boat spread completely across the map. And we'll have them attached to buttons to power them up. So in each individual area, we have to find the button, power off the doll, and then we bring it to a grinder at the beginning. So for this one, because there is quite a distance to go, 2 people will go to the far side so that they can utilize being able to stun and both use their stamina overall to be able to get the furthest one as quick as possible. I'll be taking one that will be just basically a little bit closer, but still a decent ways away, whereas Shark will be taking the close one. He'll go through and do the first one, and then there is a fourth final one that's in the barn that we'll be starting on that you'll see shortly here. And with that one itself, we'll be having Shark do both of those because they are pretty close proximity. So realistically, by the time he is finishing the fourth one, it should be pretty close to the same time that the far one is coming back there so that we can all leave together.
Yep.
But this one itself, like we mentioned, it is going to be a lot of routing on the fly. You'll notice that we're going to be going and checking specific paths, specific doorways. It'll be locked and we have to change and kind of try to learn everything as we go here. So it's not... Oh, I was going to say, it's just not at all something that you can just practice the same thing. It's all about just reactions.
Yeah, and a lot of the MK challenges have the most variance of the goal lock. That's going to play a pretty big factor in how we traverse this level.
we're also gonna be kind of looking for a few key items. Normally, like, items aren't super important, but like we're gonna be like looking for adrenaline, which would be really helpful for like this area, especially like for the farther people.
which I just got.
One of those locked doors green
Oh, okay.
kinda sucks, but it's pretty common to get locked, so we kind of used to having to deal with that.
I can grab green buttons on my way.
Oh, cool. Okay. You found it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Yeah, I checked right side first. Sometimes it can be over there, but looks like it is over here. Nice. That's perfect. Actually, that's a pretty good green spawn.
Yeah.
There's where the guy is.
Well, especially you didn't have to go super far either. Oh, this is
Alright,
unlucky.
sweet. I should be able to get red pretty soon.
Thank you.
Gonna go for the switch.
It's also good that we split up because we can't command more than one at the
mistake, and then you can stun when I tell you.
Also, one final enemy that can kind of be a little bit of a troll sometimes in runs is you'll see basically different enemies that will look almost identical to us.
Okay, stun.
They're fake versions of us, and they will try stab you. They do lots of damage, slow you down, and just overall, it's not a fun time. So, also, I'm already almost at button.
I'm out.
Okay, I'm at button.
Sometimes I like to pick up bottles here. It won't really matter right now, but those pouncer enemies I mentioned earlier that jump out at you, you can instantly get them off you with a bottle if you're holding one, and you can use them to stun enemies too, so they're pretty good. Here, for example, you get a battery for your flashlight. We don't really ever pick those up, or lock picks. You can open locked, cabinets and things. Also not very useful for runs. But antidotes to cure your sanity, adrenaline to make you run faster, and bottles.
Yeah. Watch out, there's machete on your path back. I mean, all things considered, that's actually no. Never mind. That's a pretty good time. I'm thinking a different trial.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Saved 9 seconds of my skills.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I got a little thing where he sits back in the chair. Oh, okay. That can happen sometimes.
Oh, did we go into the same pod?
No, I just had the thing where like
Oh, you like turn
sit down.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so this is Open the Gates. I like this level a lot. It's probably my favorite. It's the same as the level we were in before, but we have to go through each section in order, and there's 3 wires we have to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is
Thankfully,
where
it's a pretty small map, so it's pretty easy to like just run around, find your thing, and then move on.
yeah, it's also nice because this is one of the only maps where we don't need to go back to where we were going. Instead, we're going to be opening gates and just going straight forward, so we don't have to run all the way back at the ends. The other important thing with this is similar to what you saw with the stun earlier on, where we were throwing them at the wire switches to disable them. This one itself, it is going to be a major part of this run, just because there is going to be 4 gates with 3 wire switches for each, and that's an easy way to be able to disable them. But also, if we are on the other side of a gate or directly on a door that has a wire on the other side, we can throw it and it will go through and still disable that, even if we are not directly there. So we're also going to employ that a little bit earlier on with what's called YOLO throws. So there's 3 specific spots that we're going to try throw our stuns, and if we have really good RNG, we can disable the entire first gate without actually going upstairs in the barn whatsoever. The 3 throws themselves will hit 12 of the 24 different spawn locations for the first area, so it does hit quite a bit.
I'll get the only one I know.
Which one, sorry?
I can run straight in to activate the objective.
Okay. Which one do you guys want to run?
I'll do top of clown.
Top of clown. I can do the one on the right side since it's a little bit weird if somebody wants to do the outside one.
I think I know where the outside one is. We can try that.
I can ping it on the way.
Yeah. Oh no, I can't do it because I don't have stun.
Oh, okay.
Oh, just adrenaline. Sorry.
I got it.
I got it. Oh.
No worries. So then I will do the outside one because the right side isn't as good of a one. Right here in the clown or the important one.
Is a little unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it's not.
So it is important, though. We do need the text box for the objective to change. Otherwise, the switches do not activate.
Try this one. Oh, wait, no, you said the final right? Meta, you
This one here, yeah.
So throwing that there. And then if everything's good when we run in, you can see 2 switches are already taken care of. So there's only 1 remaining. So it can save quite a bit of time there.
Yep, we got that one already. Oh, that's an enemy. Might be able to pass him. That one's already done. And okay, nice. So unfortunately, my stun didn't hit that enemy. It makes the charge go all the way back down to 0. If you don't hit an enemy and just hit a trap, it'll go to about half, so it doesn't take quite as long.
Okay, you have to come this side. Watch out for Screamer. So one thing that you would have seen there is when those Screamers do scream, you can still interact with doors to push them open, just to save a little bit of time.
Yeah, they are still pretty obnoxious, but that does help make it a little bit. Alright, I got this. Looks like there's another one on this side.
Oh, man.
One more.
It's through the. I don't have my stun, but it's right there. You got it.
Got it.
Yeah, ideally, you get 2 or 3 stuns for the whole level, if you don't hit the enemies.
Okay, I got the far right one.
I got the one in the diner.
Oh.
Oh, I got the other.
And these are the pouncers that we were discussing earlier that can pounce out from barrels or lockers or anything like that.
Yeah, like at this point, if I didn't hit that enemy, I'd have another charge right now.
It's not unheard of for Dr.
You can also jump out of
Somebody
the
here.
stun a little early.
I got this one already.
That one.
Okay.
Oh, we're good. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I got the button.
Oh,
I tried.
there's a fake me coming.
Hold it right there.
So we're on our way to the.
Ooh, yeah, that was really good.
We're on
Yeah.
pace for like a 41 in-game time right now, which is well within our rough estimate of like an hour 10 RTA. Well within that range.
Also, I think open the gates just on a side note there. Yeah, that was world record for quads as well.
Oh, wow.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Let's go. Official Outlast
Yeah.
Trials world record holder on my first real run. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually a perfect example of how, you know, how wildly different each segment can be, even if you're practiced on these levels. Like sometimes you get really bad luck.
I said jump, and you
You'll
jumped.
lose like a few minutes, and
What I
sometimes
need
you can get
is
some really,
somebody
really
who, when I say jump, says, how high? You be my how high.
A lot of it's also like having good cooperation with your teammates and kind of just like trusting them to like go for specific objectives or check specific spots, and that way you're not like doubling up on pathways or anything like that where you're both trying to go for the same objective.
Yeah, and the more you play with a certain group, the better your teamwork gets, obviously. So
Yeah, for
it
sure.
makes a lot of sense.
You start to understand people's rights and how they do things.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't switch to blind here, but that's probably okay. This is probably the Snitch is the one you really want blind. This one is like it can help, but you don't really.
Yeah, honestly, we can stun Mother and then we can just stun the giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I would usually get blind when I go basement, but I'm not this time.
Oh,
It also doesn't
well, what about for that guy?
Must follow our mandates.
what in the basement?
Children
Well,
will
our
learn
censorship
obedience.
thing that we're doing.
Shape them young, and they're ours for life.
Worst case, we can come down and support.
Give them first
That guy. Yeah, we can still avoid looking at him.
Okay. I couldn't
Like, when
remember
you're
if
doing
you
the
could
saw,
avoid
if
it
you
or
just
not
look
while you're
down,
sawing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Not
cool.
look at him when he comes out.
Yeah, so that's the thing to note with this level is there is nudity in this level. It is something that is easily avoidable. We just basically divert our cameras. We can still look at what we need to do for the next objective, and just keep everything completely off screen.
Yeah. That's one of the main reasons we look like we said, it is completely avoidable if we just don't look
Yeah.
at it. So should be okay.
Yeah. Now, with Orphanage, we will notice a little bit of difference when it comes to the objectives. In comparison, where we've been seeing a lot of generators, this one has a new objective called Receivers, which is basically a wave and just changing the actual length, the height, and the frequency overall of the wave to be able to kind of get it to match what the other one is. So we'll see that at a couple different times throughout the level here. First off, right here. And then afterwards, we will have 4 more that we need to do that will be within these different rooms right here.
Oh, that sometimes it's not even on it. Left and right boys and right infant.
Okay. Which one for boys? Okay, I'll go left, boys.
Both boys.
I'm on infant.
Right infant. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll usually have one person call out on the map again at any of these 6 locations.
And as you can see, it's pretty forgiving when it comes to your placement of the actual wave itself. The one that I just had, it was pretty close, but there's times where it can be wildly off.
Yeah, it's a little weird how lenient it decides to be. It can be very picky, and sometimes it just kind of gives it to you for free.
Yeah. And then this next area here, once we're done here, we'll be going into the classrooms. Now for the classrooms, what we'll be doing is there are films that have to be brought and switched out into different projectors. There's 4 different classrooms, with 3 of them going to have their own unique projectors. I have a stun for Mama here.
I have a guy on me. I'm trying to get off.
Do you need help?
It's one. Yeah, it's one of your infant.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to see if I can lure Mama outside.
No, no, no! It's dancing
Thank you.
time!
It's almost
time,
done.
you horrible old rumps! Oh, you awful...
Long game.
Okay, Mama's outside there.
Thank you.
Yeah, those can be a bit weird. A lot of times, especially if you don't have blind. Like blind is amazing for casual plays.
Yeah.
But it's not the fastest sometimes. But sometimes if you get caught without it, you just kind of get trolled by
Projector in 1.
enemies.
Projector in 3.
Okay, I'll place in 3 and check 4.
Okay, I'll place in 1.
4 already has one. Or sorry,
There's
4 has one.
we have 3 reels and 4 classrooms. So we
Okay,
have
3's good.
4 in there.
Okay, I'll come grab. I'll come grab. If you want to place Sharkhat, I'm here.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
It's 4. It's 4.
Last reel. Okay.
4 has a projector.
Yeah, okay, 3 has it in. If
I'm gonna bring this to 4.
Yeah, one needs one.
I got it. I got it.
Mighty sweet, goose you out of bed, get you on your
I could really use that before.
Okay, I
oh,
got you.
found adrenaline.
I'm coming a minute.
Okay, do you want to go do
Okay, I'm at the button.
Yeah, I'll go in
One is
for
done.
the reel. Yeah, for 4, yeah.
Okay, 4 is the last one, and Shark's doing it right now.
Cool.
That got a little messy, but we handled it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, buttons pressed.
So yeah, coming up here.
I'll open.
With the nudity we're not going to be looking at. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty easy to avoid. This guy that comes out over there. Alright, so
Oh, basic
Alright.
Oh, wait. Are we doing the same path as
Here,
last
does somebody want adrenaline?
Yeah.
Whoever's going downstairs, here's adrenaline.
Alright.
yeah, and let's caught bash the door.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do that with you.
Nice.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, I got a gas,
Got this.
and I got a generator.
You got a gas too.
Generator should be right side.
I got high.
Okay,
I see
I'm running back.
the, thing for it.
I see the generator.
I'm gonna lead the machete away.
Guy on me.
Alright, my stun's queued back up.
So yeah, again, when it comes to this part here, we can just easily look down and just prevent any sort of nudity again.
Some gen done.
Cranking.
So
I'm stunning,
really
I'm
gonna
stunning,
hope
I'm
no
stunning.
enemies come into this area here. We all 4 need to be in the room with no enemies in. Some enemies.
Got it.
Oh, I stunned her at the last second.
Okay,
Awesome.
I'm at button.
So that guy doesn't walk in here. I'll try to distract him if he does. Actually, can I just close these doors?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
In.
Okay.
And know that the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread.
So now we're gonna be heading back. This is where Gooseberry's gonna spawn, and we're gonna have the big guy in front of us. So thankfully, Demo was able to open up a shortcut on the way there, so we should be able to get back without very many issues. We just gotta be careful coming out of this exit because they're gonna be
Yeah.
trying to block.
I got stun here. If you want to open.
Good stun. Nice.
Yeah. And that shortcut itself, it only saves maybe a second at most, but still does make enough of a difference.
Yeah. Nice.
7 minutes.
Not too bad. Alright, we just got the last 2 levels here. They're going to be the MK challenges for the Orphan. And pretty similar. I actually, well, I guess this next level has an objective that we didn't do this time.
These next two are my favorite, personally.
Yeah.
I like these a lot, yeah.
So this first one, anyways, we're gonna be putting on our best chef's hat, and we're gonna be looking at making some soup here. Now, definitely don't recommend anyone trying this recipe at home. But basically, we're gonna initially go in, start off the trial, and then we'll be all looking for a bottle of bleach that we're gonna eventually use to make our soup. So it's a pretty simple, pretty straightforward trial overall. We each have our own bottle that we're looking for, and then just making it back and making it out.
Yeah, fortunately, compared to the last level that we're going to be doing, this one is a little bit more consistent. So in each of the 4 areas, there's going to be 1 bleach. The next level, we're going to be doing frequencies with 4 of them throughout the level, but they can be pretty randomized. There can be 1 in each area. There can be 3 in one area and 1 in one of the others. So we're still going to split up pretty much the same way we're going to do here, except it's just a little bit more random. Second one.
Yeah, the only thing to look out for in this one is that there's just a lot of enemies that are like in different areas, and it's a lot of like I guess like the more elite enemies. Like there's one guy that's like has a night vision that you have to be careful about, and etc. Yeah. Now we have some time for donations.
Trust the therapy. You are in the forge that is shaping the future. When you've earned your release, it will be into a world that is just like you.
Man, I've been running these trials so much, though. I just feel like I'm just like on autopilot right now.
Same.
guys have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm just like constantly panicked.
Yeah.
It's like riding
That's-
a bike.
Yeah. It's a good panic.
Yeah, it'd be really nice if they had a way to retry trials quicker or get into them a little faster.
Skip
But
the cutscene. Oh my gosh, if they remove a way, or if they add a way, to skip cutscenes for GDQ, it would save like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But they
yeah, it'd be really nice.
I'm pretty sure they hide loads behind it, so I don't think
Okay.
they will.
I got the bleach.
Yeah, I know it. Well, I think it. I know it definitely starts to load once you start pulling in the station. I don't know if it does it any earlier than that. I don't know how likely it is they'll add it, but it would be nice. I'm going laundry, by the way.
I'm going basement.
Yeah. I'm going chapel.
Reminder for my teammates that when you put the bleach into the soup mix, to look up in the corner as well.
Oh, got grab that counts.
Somebody ought to call it.
Oh, I had a really good spawn for mine.
Oh, and the night vision guys here.
Okay, well, I had quick and easy, so I can come back for it.
Okay, I've got sewing equipment.
Alright, I got a little troll in the laundry, but I'm looking around now. I did get a rig recharge, which if we didn't mention it before, it refills your rig completely without having to wait for it to charge. So that can be pretty good. The spot I looked at, oh, I found, okay, I got laundry.
Got it.
In the spot I looked, it can either be a battery or a rig recharge, so sometimes it's worth checking just in case you get one. Especially with stun, it's really, really good with that.
Any items?
Alright, there we go.
So we're all gonna be hiding over here. After we pull that tree or the lever, it's gonna spawn Gooseberry, who we're gonna be avoiding. And if we just stay here, we completely ignore her and she doesn't spot us. So it makes for an easy escape.
Yeah, usually there'd also be a cutscene right here where she'd be talking, but no.
So that leaves one more
Yeah.
trial.
Oh, there you go. Okay. It's actually a pretty good time, too.
Yeah,
saved
that was
like
nice.
45 seconds.
Yeah. But yeah, so for this final trial, it'll still be within the orphanage here, kind of similar area to what we just saw for the Feed the Children, just not as much in the chapel area. But what we're going to be looking for is there's 5 receivers similar to what we saw before that are spread across the map. And we just simply need to go disable those receivers and then leave again. So again, a pretty straightforward objective. A lot of Orphanage is pretty straightforward when it comes to how it's played. It's just a lot of understanding the map and being able to react to the map itself. So.
Excellent work. They say you hurt the ones you love.
But again, with this area here, especially as we have to go through the same walking sequence and same load sequence, again, especially in Orphanage, this is a great time for donations.
We have a $20 donation from Anonymous. Greetings from Germany. First time viewer, long time donator.
Didn't realize this was a host audition too.
Yeah. All right.
Note this up to invite game onto my end, my SSD.
Yeah. What's our real time right now?
1 minute, 1 hour exactly.
Okay.
You are a moral will. Nothing more and nothing less. We're not testing how fast you can run, how well you can hide. We are testing your integrity. Show us you deserve the future.
All right, so I'll go through courtyard to laundry.
Yeah, swimming pool again.
Cool.
Cafeteria, I think, is where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going calf as well. I'll take the side rooms as well.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the final mission. This one's a little hard because these, like, what are they called?
The frequency.
Well, like, our objectives are basically just,
Okay.
like, can be very wonky at times, and you can get knocked off of them pretty easily.
Oh yeah, this is one that gets really obnoxious if you have enemies chasing you.
Yeah.
You're left
Because a lot of the
with
other
not
ones are just,
much
like,
you can do.
holding, and you're kind of just waiting, and the progress doesn't usually reset. This one, like, you're actually having to think about stuff.
There you go. See, the first one's always right there. Then it's taking care of the cut out. Look for the other ones. Oh, that door's blocked.
Okay, got a receiver in the side rooms.
This door's open. Okay, there's one here. There's one right out here.
I'll grab it.
Have you found one yet, Venom? Oh, I found one in laundry.
Oh, okay, I'll tank gas here. Okay.
Double checking.
Yeah, Shar, if you're there, if you could just delete
also
that.
be in
Something we haven't talked much about is there's also
I got it.
traps.
I'm at the beginning.
Go ahead. It was laundry.
There's like traps on doors, and so we also have to be careful when opening those and making sure we don't get stabbed in the chest by like an electric cord.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, this is a great example. Instead of having one in each area, for example, there we got two in pool, or two in
Okay. Birds.
Then time is going to be ending here in a second once Shark gets through the door.
Nice. Pretty much once it fades to black.
Yep. And
Alright,
it's time.
Awesome, and that was a 1 hour, 4 minute, and 20-second time.
Not bad.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, 40:05
I think
in game time. Yeah, with the time loss and bad apples with the death wish stuff, that's definitely